Hi, I'm Dan, and I'm here to explain enlightenment to you. So, you got like this couple, George and Sally, and then they got like their cat, Fluffy, there. And so they've been dating for a while and living together, and they're real happy. And George is like, I'm so happy with you, Sally. And Sally says, I love you, George, you were so happy. But then after a while, things start to break down a bit, and they start to argue, and, they think they're separate. Like George thinks he's separate from Sally and Fluffy, and Sally thinks she's separate from George and Fluffy, well, we don't really know what Fluffy thinks because he's kind of just sitting there. And so, they start like fighting. So, George gets angry, then Sally gets angry. And George says, I want to go do this. And Sally says, no, let's go do this instead. And George says, no, I want to do what I want to do. And Sally says, no, I want to do what I want to do. And Fluffy's kind of just still sitting there. And then, after a while, they keep arguing because they think they're separate, right? And then George thinks, he should do what he wants to do. And Sally thinks that George should do what she wants to do. So after a while, Sally gets upset and she leaves George. So then she takes Fluffy because Fluffy's her cat. So now you got George, and George is all alone. So George starts to get kind of like sad and unhappy because it's just him, and now he feels lonely. So he gets all confused about life because he's thinking, this life isn't what I thought I should be. I should be happier now, and he doesn't like his job. My job sucks. I don't like my boss. So now he has like this existential crisis, right? He starts to question what life is all about. So now he gets interested in spirituality, and he goes and he buys like I Am That, because everyone who is interested in spirituality has to go and buy I Am That. It's like required or something. So he goes and he gets I Am That. Then he's reading I Am That. He got his hand here. He's holding the book. And then he goes and he starts like reading I Am That and stuff, and he gets interested in spirituality. But he's still kind of confused. He doesn't know what's going on. So he knows about Zen, and there's this big Zen center in his hometown. So he goes and he joins the Zen center. So he gets rid of I Am That because the Zen people don't like I Am That very much. And then, so George here, he goes and he goes to the Zen center. And then he puts on these Zen robes, to do meditation. He's got these Zen robes on here. And then I don't really have, they don't give me a brown marker, so I can't make the Zen robe too good. So there he is, he's meditating, right? And he's sitting there and he's doing Zazen, and he's going like Om, 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 Om. Now, he's meditating. Then all of a sudden he has this like flash of insight, and he gets hit. It's like this lightning bolt coming down, hitting him. So he gets hit by this lightning bolt. Now he has satori, right? So he has like this enlightenment experience, and he becomes awakened. So he gets all awakened up here. Now, his eyes are all open. He's all happy and blissful. He says, I am enlightened. It's a long word, enlightened. I am enlightened. Right? So George says, I am enlightened. But after a while, this experience kind of fades. So the satori happened, a couple months ago. And he's getting kind of confused. So he starts reading some more about non-duality and stuff like that. And then, he thinks like, we're not separate. So he begins to question, I am enlightened, and that means he's separate, right? And he's having this separate experience called enlightenment. So now he's like, he doesn't think he's enlightened anymore. And he's saying like, Now Now he's kind of confused, you know. He's trying to think, like, So he wonders, you know, what's really enlightenment. So he begins to question this I am part. You know, then he goes back and gets his copy of I Am That and starts reading it again. So he goes and gets I Am That, because he still kept the book, you know, he didn't throw it out. And then he starts looking at I Am That and he starts reading it again. Then he realizes that there are no separate individuals and everything is like consciousness. So he realizes there is no separate George. There's just life, right? So it's like there's grass growing, you know, that Zen thing, like as spring comes, grass is growing. And then there's like, you know, trees, kind of looks like an octopus. And then the trees got leaves on it. Trees, leaves. And then you got the sun. I don't have a yellow marker, so the sun's going to be red. I know it's kind of, it doesn't look right. So then you got like the grass growing and the trees, and then, you know, the sun shining, and then you got like birds flying. There's like birds. And so George realizes everything is one. But still, you know, he's thinking like all this stuff is separate, right? Like there's separate grass, and then there's like trees, and then the sun and the birds. So then he sees that if everything is one, then all there is consciousness. So consciousness is like the whiteboard which everything appears. But the board itself never changes. It's always the same. And then, so that's like what enlightenment is. You know, but George isn't here anymore because he realizes that he's one with consciousness, and so isn't Fluffy, because, you know, Fluffy is enlightened too. That's what enlightenment is. Okay. If you got any questions, you can like put them in the comments to the video, and like I'll answer them later. I'll make like another board, and then I'll like answer the questions. Okay. All right. Thank you.